Now, friends, today we're on Chavtet Iyar. It marks the Hilula of a great rabbi, Rabbi Moshe Svied Z'tl, one of the great rabbis from Syria, from Chalab respectively. He was a rabbi, he was a Posek, rendering different Jewish Torah laws in of itself. He was a judge, a דיין, and he became a Bashi, a chief rabbi in his time, the rabbi of the Kahila of the Jewish community of Aron Tzovah respectively, and we have the Shelot Shuvot question and answers book called the Emet Umishpat. Let's explore a few highlights of the famous rabbi's life. Now friends, I believe, I'm not too sure the exact dates when he was actually born, but he would pass away on the 30th of May in English year 1889, so we're talking about 136 years ago here from the time of recording. He was born in Aram Tzovah in Syria, which had a very strong Jewish community in of its day, and his father was a great rabbi. His father's name was Rabbi Yosef Svied, I think, very respectably, and was, I think, a descendant or son of Rabbi Moshe Svied Z'tl, who happened to be the author of the Torah colossal work called the Masor Moshe, if I'm not mistaken. I think he happened to have passed away back in the Hebrew year Heitaf Kuf Ayin Dalet. Now he would grow up in Aram Tzovah. At that point in time, there was a prominent Jewish community over there, and he was known as a great matmid, let's just say, inside the yeshiva, Torah learner, a brilliant Torah learner, dedicating much of his time within regards to Torah study. Was became very famous over there within regard. By day and by night, he was learning in of itself, and very much. I think he would get married to his wife, Rabbi Lona, I believe her name was. She happened. I think what happened to be a daughter of Rabbi Chaim Mordechai Levton, who was a chief rabbi of Aram Tzovah at that point in time. So really his greatness of Torah flourishing and his learning all throughout the day and through the night really earned him great to marry into great Torah family respectively in of itself. So actually I think we dedicated a video at one stage with regards to Rabbi Mordechai Levton. Now he would be appointed eventually a judge, a דיין in the Bet Din, the great Bet Din in Aram Tzovah. I think at that point in time, that was a Bet Din which Rabbi Chaim Ashkenazi happened to work, and also Rabbi Ezra Eli HaKohen. These were really great rabbis at that point in time in Syria, people that made their mark. Now I think he would be continued to become eventually the Chacham Bashi, the chief rabbi and of Chalab respectively in Aleppo. So this was very prominent position. I think come what the year Chav Gimel Av in the Hebrew year Heitaf Reish Mem Dalet, I think sadly it was, I think his son Rabbi Ezra passed away at a young age. Very sad news. So in those days, unfortunately, many of the rabbis that we've spoken about had lost children. So that was very sad news. Rav Svied will bring about various different svarim of the great rabbis of Aram Tzovah and bring about their teachings, let's just say, in of itself, and huge amounts of praise within regards to the great rabbis. Now he passed away on the 29th of Iyar, that was 30th May in the year 1889, so it's his Hilula this week. He was buried in Chalab, it was, and he would leave behind great descendants. Let's explore some of his Talmidim. He had great Talmidim, including the famous Rabbi Shalom Hodaya, who would go on to become a great Syrian rabbi. Rabbi Moshe Ezra Mizrahi, another rabbi we've spoken about in this series. I think his son-in-law was Rabbi Yaakov Dwek HaKohen, another great rabbi from the, let's just say, the Syrian rabbinic dynasty in of itself. Another one of his son-in-laws was a famous Rabbi Abraham Chaim Ades, another great rabbi. Now let's explore a few of his writings, his books. The famous Shelot Shuvot book called the Emet Umishpat was a great work of his, and then he'll do another question and answers book, Shelot Shuvot, called the Shalom Ve'emet. These were very great books in of itself. Now, as we stated before, he was actually buried in Aleppo in Chalab, and he left after him, a huge amount of great descendants, and I think some of them were actually named after him, after his brilliance over there. So I recommend everyone to learn more about him. He was a great rabbi of the Syrian community of his day. We're going back to the 1800s to 19th century respectively. I'd recommend everyone, these rabbis I've quoted in today's video, for everyone to research upon them in the series, because we've already got a huge online library in this series of nearly 1,000 rabbis from just overall from the North African countries and from the Spanish countries, the Ottoman territories, respectively. One of the only online communities, online encyclopedias in English. We are exploring the life and the science of what actually went on in these places over here. So we're a community, friends. Few things to ask from you. First of all, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. We're nearing 7,000 members, which is absolutely phenomenal. Second of all, if anyone's interested in watching any of these videos, please share these videos to other people. If you happen to descend from a great rabbi you descend from, please let me know more information about them or comment. If we haven't included them yet in the series, it would be great to include all the chachamim that is possible over here, and to do a biography video over here. So wishing you all well. Recording this here from the city of Bet Shemesh in Israel, central Israel, and we're about to come into Shabbat Parshat Bamidbar. We're starting a new sefer this week. We happen to be, so it's always a good time period, and we're also entering the festival of Shavuot. So his Hilula, the great Rabbi Svied, happens to be on Chavtet Iyar, actually the day after Yom Yerushalayim. Obviously, he passed away way before there was a Yom Yerushalayim, because it happened in 1967. But it's a momentous time. Also, Rosh Chodesh Sivan happens to be, and the Jewish festival of Shavuot, where we get the Kabbalat Torah, we receive the Torah from Har Sinai. So everyone, learn more about the rabbis, and wishing you all well, and take care here from the city of Bet Shemesh.